Hi, my name is Kelsey, and this is my audience. In a town outside of Pittsburgh, Walter Long, age 59, never learned how to read. He has a wife and 4 children, none of whom he told about his problem with reading. One night he was attempting to read a story to his 4-year-old daughter Joanna when she said, "That's not the way Mom read it to me." It's still hard to say to a 4-year-old that you can't read. 30 million people in the United States are functionally illiterate. Emily Kirkpatrick of the National Center of Family Literacy says that 40% of our nation's 4th graders are not reading at a basic level. Most of those children come from the 30 million people who are illiterate. My first visual aid is this one. It says the literacy levels of those 16 and older in the greater New Orleans region. This one is they read below 5th grade level, that's 39%. This one is they read below 8th grade level, that's 31%. And this one says they read level 3 and higher, that's only 30%. Difficulty with reading can cause a lifelong disability. It is important to know the problems associated with illiteracy, the causes of illiteracy, and the solutions that are accessible to solve this harmful problem. All of us at one point or another have experienced academic frustration. Perhaps we were overwhelmed with the amount of homework we had, upset that we had failed a test, or confused about an assignment. Try to imagine what it would be like if you could not read your test or assignments. This scenario is reality for Walter and the 30 million other adults in America who suffer from illiteracy. Illiteracy is the inability to read or write, or the lack of knowledge in a particular subject. Reading is a basic skill that many of us take for granted. If someone has a reading problem at a young age and it is not addressed, then it could lead to a lifelong disability, which could lead to several problems. First, I will discuss the problems associated with illiteracy. Some of the main problems associated with illiteracy are a large possibility in crime, problems in the workplace, and medical complications. First, illiteracy is a correlation to crime. 85% of juveniles in the court system are functionally illiterate. This is my second visual aid. And it says that 20% of high school seniors can be classified as being functionally illiterate at the time they graduate. This one says 70% of prisoners in state and federal systems can be classified as illiterate. This one says 85% of all juvenile offenders rate as functionally or marginally illiterate. This one says 43% of those with the lowest literacy skills live in poverty. A study in Virginia in 2000 observed 30,000 inmates. Of the ones who partook in this prison education program, 20% were sent back to jail or prison after release. However, 49% of the ones who weren't in the programs returned to jail or prison also. Another problem closely related to illiteracy is problems in the workplace. Society and businesses lose about $225 billion a year due to loss of productivity, crime, and unemployment because of illiteracy. Illiteracy can also impact the capability of workers to work together and communicate. Medical complications is another issue related to illiteracy. Health illiteracy is the inability to obtain, process, and understand health information needed to make informed health decisions. People who lack health literacy tend to skip important preventative measures like mammograms, flu shots, and pap smears. Health illiteracy can also have negative mental effects. So now that you know the problems associated with illiteracy, I'll tell you about some of the causes. Learning disabilities, family, and media may cause illiteracy. Learning disabilities is the major cause for illiteracy, but it often goes unnoticed or gets ignored. There are many reasons for illiteracy. One cause is neurologically based learning disabilities which have not been recognized and or dealt with appropriately. 20% of elementary school students are at risk for reading failure, and of that number, 5 to 10% of those students have difficulty learning to read. Family is often another cause of illiteracy. Parents with little schooling, families who don't keep books in the home, or lack the motivation as to the importance of reading tend to show results of children who suffer from a lifetime of being illiterate. Illiteracy can also be caused by media. Media is a lot like all of our school subjects. It teaches us history, art, music, business, science, etc. Media helps us to understand the workings of our immediate world and our individual parts in it. With lack of media or the wrongful use of media, someone could become illiterate. Last, I will explain the solutions that are available to help with the decrease in illiteracy. Illiteracy is a huge problem that affects many people, and it must be stopped. There are several ways we can stop this problem of illiteracy. We could provide more books to schools, and especially to the children who are too poor to get some. We could offer reading programs for groups or individuals, adults or children, to learn how to read and comprehend it. We also need to help our teachers learn to realize when a student is struggling with reading so it can be stopped before it turns into illiteracy. In conclusion, we have talked about all the problems related to illiteracy, the causes of illiteracy, and the solutions we can use to reduce the rate of illiteracy. Become a tutor or join a program to help reduce the rate of illiteracy in America.